Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, so I want to tell you some behind-the-scenes stuff. When I got to work this morning, I always come in very, very early. For those who don't know, I get here like 4, and I put together the show. I do show prep. Okay, well, this morning I put together this 1-minute piece of different people saying that's baloney, baloney. I got the guy from Family Guy. I got Judge Judy. I got a whole bunch of them saying that's baloney. And the reason I did this is because there's an ad. I haven't heard it today, but there's an ad that's been on the national network stuff we have.
Yes.
And it's trying to get people to buy into this thing called freedom checks. Mm-hmm. Please don't believe this. It's just a bunch of nonsense. When I read up on it, it's like an investment thing. You can invest on your own. Okay, you don't need to send somebody money to invest your money for you.
Right.
Trust me. Please don't believe that ad. So every time I hear that ad, it's almost like, oh my gosh, we've worked so hard to build trust with our audience that they don't know. When they hear that ad, they don't know that it's not us putting that ad on. They think, oh, I trust WOCA. Let me look into this. And next thing you know, you're sending money to some creep who's, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Phil Town is on the phone. I trust Phil Town. Phil Town's daughter wrote a book called Invested, and I guess Phil wrote it with her. Her name is Danielle Town. I don't think she's on the phone, just he is, right?
Yes.
He is an investor. He knows how to do this, okay? So let's talk to Phil and get some real good advice instead of that stupid freedom checks ad. Phil Town, an investor and motivational speaker, the co-host with Danielle, his daughter, of a podcast called Invested, The Rule Number One, and the book is called Invested, How Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger Taught Me to Master My Mind, My Emotions, and Money with a little help from my dad. And Dad's on the phone. Phil Town, good morning, Phil.
Hey Larry, how's it going, man? I got an idea for everybody right now. I would happy to have everybody on your audience send me their money. That's fine. I'm good for it.
Are you familiar with this stupid thing? I don't want to talk about it too much, but have you heard of this thing?
No, man, I don't.
No, okay.
I don't look at those ads.
Well, just trust me. It's something we would be better off paying attention to what you have to say in 10 minutes than what this whole stupid whatever. Anyway, so good morning.
Good morning. Yeah.
You must love your daughter must love you. You must love her. I mean, how proud must you be for her to get this, huh?
You know, man, that's the crazy part about this is that in the process of teaching her to invest, well, first off, I've tried to teach her to invest her whole life and to absolutely no avail whatsoever. She totally hated the idea, of course, because I do it, right? So, but, you know, the thing is, when you get a little older, she's a successful attorney, she starts to realize, holy smokes, if I don't start investing my money, I'm going to have to work for a living forever. And that process of learning that stirred the idea to get with dear old Dad and learn about investing. Of course, I'm a Warren Buffett 101, Charlie Munger, guy. I mean, I just love value investing, and I really believe in it, and I really believe that anybody can do it, including my daughter. So,
don't let her hear you say that. So you do the podcast together, so you must be ribbing each other all the time, right?
Oh, it was horrible. I thought I was going to have a podcast where I would teach her and she would listen. Instead, it turned out that Invested is all about me saying something and she takes her NYU law degree and beats me over the head with it.
Does the age difference mean investment choice is different? Like, does she like to invest in things different than you only because of age, or is it always bottom line driven?
No, it's not bottom line driven, which is the most amazing thing that people don't realize about Warren and Charlie is that they're very driven by their own personal values. Like somebody was asking Warren why he isn't investing in Whole Foods and why he invests in Coke. And he says, well, because I love Coke. I drink 6-7 cans a day and it makes me happy. He says, I've been to Whole Foods. Nobody's smiling at Whole Foods.
That's funny.
Sometimes people don't really know what to do with their money, and you give them a good perspective by using the word mission. Make your money have a mission.
which is really to Larry's point, and his question is that, do we invest differently from different generations? And the answer is that we invest differently based on our values, and that's the first thing that hooked my kid into the idea that maybe she should put some time into this to learn how to invest properly. That she realized that inflation was going to crush her over time if she kept sticking her money into the mattress. So yeah, mission is huge for her generation. She's a millennial. Huge for her generation to be thinking not just in terms of what am I going to do for myself, but what am I going to do for the world. And when you start to realize that, with all best intentions, the best financial advice from most financial advisors, including Warren Buffett, is that if you don't know how to invest, you should buy indexes, you should buy broad market mutual funds, and just stick with it, right? And long term, you're going to do great. And that's true. But the problem with that in terms of mission is that means you own everything, and all of the missions of all of the companies, and all of the CEOs who are maybe not the most great people you ever met. So if you want to really get deep into it, I found that what clicked with her generation, and her in particular, is that you vote your values. You put your money where your mouth is. And that has a really huge impact on Danielle, enough to where she said, oh, man, I can get excited about digging into some stuff here.
Okay. So do you take your money out of something if you find out that the company you're investing in is also has a hand in something that you don't like? I don't know what that might be. Something you're against?
One of my favorite issues is that, a lot of people are screaming about how CEOs are paying themselves a huge amount of money while they're cutting employee wages. And in other words, they're not walking their own talk, right, about mission. And a lot of people get really disgusted. Remember the whole 99 1%er thing?
Yeah.
And of course, the irony of that, Larry, as you guys know, is that the 99 percenters are complaining about what the 1 percenters are doing with the 99 percenters' money.
Right.
You guys give them your money, and then you bitch about it. I love the idea of us taking back power. I think if you want to change the world, you can't find a faster way than if all of us said we're going to vote our money the way our values are. Holy smokes, Wall Street would reform in a matter of a month.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Well, this is what I wanted. I wanted somebody who understood this, and you're the antidote to that stupid ad that we've been hearing. For the listeners, please don't do anything called freedom checks. The book is called Invested. Do I have a copy of the book, Robin? No, I don't have a copy. How do we get the book?
All right, man. I'm going to send you a copy of the book. You guys shoot me a note. Let me have the address. I'll sign one and have Danielle sign it. They're, obviously on Amazon, but go support your local bookseller. I mean, one of the things you learn when you start investing is that sometimes these, huge companies are actually pretty tough on the little guys, right? They're wrecking little businesses. So go down and support your local bookseller.
So do you have a website?
Yeah, rule1investing.com.
Okay.
RULEONE investing.com. Lots of really good free tools up there for you to take a look at, including one that I think is really valuable that I think you'd like a lot, and that's something we call your retirement calculator, where you can put in what your money is going to be, like you're stacking up the money you're putting for retirement, and then what your rate of return is, and then see how much you need in today's dollars to retire. It's a pretty good calculator.
Phil, one quick question. Is there a generation gap between you and Danielle regarding technology? Does she invest using her phone and you do it the old-fashioned way?
You know it. Unbelievable. He just takes his phone out.
That's funny.
I love Warren, right? He's still just looking through the pages of a Value Line notebook.
Right. Yes. Well,
you know what he said once? He said Bill Gates came to me in the 90s and said, hey, man, you got to get involved in this computer revolution. And Buffett said, why? And he goes, well, because, it's what's future. And he says, well, I don't really need it. He said, well, what you need to do is get involved in great things that are going to make you a ton of money. He says, that's what I already do. I'm investing in gum. I like chewing gum. He says, I understand chewing gum.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah,
me right
sure.
There, man. I'm chewing gum. You guys go do the mobile phone.
And you still call it a mobile phone.
Exactly.
Phil Town.
Exactly.
Fun interview. Thank you so much for being on the air with us today. Good luck to everything you and Danielle are doing.
All right, guys. Love your show. Thanks, Larry.
All right. We will be right back.
Pro will will get you equipped for anything with a John Deere 5045E